Echoes of the Orient welcomes you. Can our thoughts really change the reality we live in? Imagine an invisible energy, one you can't see with your eyes, but it has the power to profoundly impact your life. This is the power of thoughts, a powerful mental force deep within your mind, silently shaping the world around you. Today, we're diving into a concept you may have never thought about. Thoughts are a form of energy, and we are the ones creating and controlling it. Can we harness the power of our thoughts to transform our lives? And why do successful people seem to have something special in the way they think and act? Let's explore why, when your mind is focused, you can tap into your own energy and achieve the seemingly impossible. In this universe, everything is made up of energy. Although it's invisible to the naked eye, the energy field is always present, silently surrounding us and influencing every aspect of our lives. Thoughts, or what we might call focused intentions, are a powerful form of energy that emanates from the human mind. These aren't just fleeting thoughts. Thoughts carry the weight of beliefs, emotions, and can have a profound effect on both the external world and your inner body. When you consistently nurture positive thoughts like, "I am healthy, I am happy," or "I deserve love," you are planting a seed of good energy in your mind. Over time, these thoughts become deeply embedded in your subconscious, guiding your behavior, emotions, and even the results you experience in real life. On the other hand, if you repeatedly think negative thoughts like, "I'm not good enough, I will fail," or "I'm seriously ill," it's like programming yourself for suffering. Negative thoughts poison the mind, drain your life energy, and make it easier for you to fall into despair. Never underestimate the power of your thoughts, because what you allow to exist in your mind will soon manifest in your realities. As the saying goes, "As a man thinketh, so is he." One of the clearest examples of the power of belief and thought comes from an ancient story in Africa. In this land, when a young man wanted to marry, he had to offer cattle as a dowries. According to tradition, if a girl was considered unattractive, she required only one cow. A more ordinary girl would be worth 2 cows, but the most beautiful girls, like fairy tale princesses, could be asked for the highest dowry. 9 cows, a price that was highly respected by the entire tribe. The chief of this tribe had 3 daughters. His 2 older daughters, who were beautiful and intelligent, were married off with a dowry of 9 cows. No one was surprised, but the youngest was different. She was considered unattractive, clumsy, and lazy. No one paid her any attention. Until one day, a young man from far away arrived and boldly declared, "I will offer 9 cows to marry the youngest daughters." The entire tribe was stunned. But overwhelmed by the surprise and joy, the chief agreed to the marriage. Years later, when the chief returned for a visit, he could hardly recognize his once overlooked daughters. She had transformed into a radiant, graceful, intelligent, skilled, and lively woman. The chief didn't understand what had happened, but the son-in-law just smiled and said, "Because I always believed she was worth the dowry of 9 cows." And that belief was deeply ingrained in her heart. It was the unconditional recognition of the young man that awakened the hidden value within the girls. When she was seen, when she was affirmed, she worked hard to live up to that belief, and ultimately became the best version of herself. This story is more than just a fairy tale. It reflects a profound truth. When someone wholeheartedly believes in your value, and you start to believe it too, that thought has the power to change your life forever. The story of the 9 cows is not just a lesson in belief. It also proves a deeper truth. Thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are a form of real, tangible energy that emanates from each of our minds. Modern science has started to explore the concept of the biological energy field, something that ancient Eastern philosophies have mentioned for centuries. Every time we think, especially when we focus deeply on a thought, our brain emits specific energy waves. These waves don't just stay in our minds, They impact our bodies, our emotions, and even the circumstances around us. However, not all thoughts are equally powerful. A thought can only unleash its full potential when it comes from a pure, steadfast mind, unaffected by personal desires. It's like a lamp shining in the dark. The light is brightest when it's not blocked by smoke and dust. People who maintain a calm mind, reduce their desires, live with integrity, and uphold moral values tend to radiate a very strong internal energy. In Buddhism, there's a saying, "A little sincerity brings a little response, while 10 parts sincerity brings 10 parts response." This means that when you are truly sincere, when your thoughts are clear, pure, and repeated with absolute trust, that energy amplifies and spreads, creating a tangible impact on the world around you. Think about the people who have healed their bodies just through belief, or those who have changed their destinies by focusing all their willpower and concentration on a single goal. They didn't just act. They activated a special source of energy within themselves, the energy of thought. Once you understand that thoughts are a real source of energy, it becomes clear why successful people often have strong, simple, and unwavering beliefs. They don't just think about their goals. They absolutely believe in them, focusing their entire mind and energy on making them a reality. In fact, you'll notice that decisive people are often more successful than those who hesitate. This isn't a coincidence. Hesitant people tend to let their minds wander, overthink, and split their energy, which leads to confusion and a lack of action. On the other hand, decisive people know exactly what they want. They don't doubt themselves, and they're not swayed by circumstances. Because of this, their thoughts are like an arrow shooting straight towards the target, with much greater speed and power. A close example can be seen in top athletes. Before a competition, they often close their eyes and vividly imagine every movement, every step, every swing. They simplify everything else and keep only one thought in their mind: victory. The simpler the mindset, the more focused the thought, the greater the power it generates. That's the principle. Along with decisiveness, a straightforward and pure mindset is also key. People who live simply without excessive personal gain or calculations tend to have clear, powerful thoughts. It's this purity that keeps their mental energy from being disrupted, allowing their inner strength to fully emerge. So if you want your thoughts to become real power, learn to live simply, think clearly, and hold an unwavering belief in what you've chosen. Consistency in thought is the key that opens the door to success. The power of thoughts doesn't just exist in the mind. It is deeply connected to the energy field within each of our bodies, a concept that has been long understood in Eastern medicine. This energy field is not separate from the physical body, but is formed through the balance of the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, which correspond to the 5 vital organs: the liver, heart, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. Each of these organs is tied to specific emotions and mental qualities. For example, the liver governs anger. So when we are frequently angry, the energy of the liver becomes imbalanced, which affects the overall energy field. The heart governs joy, and joy activates the fire element, making the energy field warm and clear. The spleen governs overthinking. The lungs are linked to sadness, and the kidneys to fear. All of these reflect a strong connection between our emotions and internal health. For instance, someone who lives in constant fear or anxiety will weaken their kidneys and spleen, which in turn disrupts the circulation of energy and blood, weakening the energy field. On the other hand, a person who maintains emotional stability, happiness, and optimism will help their organs function harmoniously, creating a strong, healthy energy field that can ward off illness and negative influences from the outside. The key here is the balance between yin and yang and the 5 elements, much like a closed circulatory system. When yin and yang are in harmony and the 5 elements are balanced, the human energy field becomes much stronger and more resilient. And when that energy field is stable, the thoughts you send out will be clearer, stronger, and more likely to become reality. The human mind is the control center of energy. When the mind is clear and free from desires, anger, or worry, the inner energy becomes focused, strong, and stable. On the other hand, if we are consumed by material desires, negative thoughts, or feelings like jealousy and resentment, the energy field begins to leak and weaken like a lamp with a faulty connection. The light dims with every surge of chaotic emotion. A person with a calm mind is like a still, clear lake. The energy not only accumulates deep within, but also radiates harmoniously around them. This is the foundation of positive energy, a concept in traditional Chinese medicine that refers to pure yang energy that helps protect the body from illness, negative forces, and harmful influences, both physical and non-physicals. Many meditation masters, wise philosophers, and even famous Qigong masters believe that the meditative state is the pinnacle of inner energy concentration. When entering deep meditation, the brain's frequency shifts to alpha or theta states, deep relaxation yet heightened awareness. All physical, emotional, and mental energy converges at a single point, creating a still potent force that, though quiet, has the potential to move mountains in subtle ways. A great example of this is Thich Nhat Hanh, the meditation master known for his calm demeanor and quiet influence that extends globally. His purification of the mind, release of desires, and mindfulness in every breath created an energy field of peace which anyone close to him could sense. This shows that the calmer the mind, the stronger the energy, and that energy becomes an invisible shield protecting us from negativity and guiding us toward good things. Thoughts are not the vague, invisible things many people think they are. In fact, every thought that comes from your mind is a form of energy wave directly influencing the environment around you, even before it becomes a concrete action. It's like when you walk into a room where people have just had an argument. Even if you can't hear anything, you can still feel the heaviness, the tension in the air. That's the lingering energy from negative thoughts and emotions truly existing in space. On the other hand, if someone maintains a positive, clear, and unwavering thought, it acts like a channel silently guiding the person closer to their goal. The phrase "be wholehearted" is not just a spiritual saying, it's also an energy principle. When you're fully focused, the energy field around you will naturally align, attracting the right opportunities, people, and circumstances to help you achieve it. A clear example of this is Thomas Edison, who relentlessly focused on the idea of creating the electric light bulb despite thousands of failures. Many people gave up, but he didn't. It was the power of his persistent thoughts, combined with concrete actions, that led him to success. It's no coincidence that many creators, inventors, and spiritual leaders agree that when a thought is strong and clear enough, it will carve a path through both space and time to become reality. So be mindful and responsible for every thought you nurture in your mind. Because the moment a thought arises, it sends out a signal quietly, but with a vast ripple effect, not just in your life, but in the environment and the people around you. But not everyone who achieves success is able to maintain inner peace and complete energy. There are people who climb to the peak of their careers only to sacrifice their health, longevity, and peace of mind in the process. They believe that working hard and dedicating everything to their goals is enough. However, the truth is that when internal energy is constantly depleted by anxiety, pressure, and negative emotions, both the body and the mind will eventually wear down. Steve Jobs, a technological genius and co-founder of Apple, is a prime example. Despite leaving behind a groundbreaking technological legacy, he admitted in his final years that fame, money, and status all become meaningless in the face of death. In a widely shared speech, he encouraged young people to take care of their health, spend time nurturing their inner selves, and live according to their true values, not just chase after a career. The lesson here is clear: success should not come at the expense of draining your life force. Emotions like anger, fear, envy, and guilt not only weaken your energy field, but also quietly undermine both your mental and physical health. Therefore, if you want to go far and succeed sustainably alongside intelligence and effort, you must also learn to keep a calm mind, live in balance, and recharge your energy from within. Thank you all for watching today's video on Echoes of the Orient. Together, we've explored the hidden power of thoughts and how the energy from our minds can bring about changes in our lives. I hope you've realized that by changing the way we think and building positive beliefs, we can tap into an endless source of energy to enhance the quality of our lives. If you found this content helpful and interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. On the Echoes of the Orient channel, we have many more lessons on ancient wisdom and deep knowledge from the East, which will help you apply these teachings to the challenges of modern life. Join us in exploring and expanding your mind, because the power of wisdom can help you overcome all limits. See you in the next videos.